Alright, I know that Bizette is on rate up over on the NA version of the game right now. My video on her will be coming out in the next couple of days, but JP right now is just going kinda sicko mode. Not just with the Stay Night, 20th anniversary campaign that we have over here, but the Evocation Festival is also really nice, and I just want to say, I know I say this every, I would say maybe 6 months, I'll put out a video being like, you should start playing JP right now, but this actually is unironically a very good time to be playing JP, and we're going to go over all of this between both of these campaigns in today's video. So let's just start off by talking about the main, big schmuckta that we got going down over here, and that is the ticket that you're able to pick. Now, obviously, I already did a video talking about this, breaking this down. I think Artoriat, especially if you're a newer player, is probably the pick on this one. I think it's a very good, just solid damaging unit that you can have. Can definitely help you just clear a lot of very early content. She has a lot of different interludes and different rank ups, so you also get a decent bit of Saint Quartz back on her, and she's also not too terribly resource intensive. Like, yeah, she can be a little bit annoying in like the proofs you need, but you're playing early story, you're gonna get a lot of those proofs, the fangs, stuff that she might need in a bit of abundance. You'll at least get very early on as you fight a bunch of those enemies and go through early story. So I think she's a very solid option, but if you want to go with Emiya, I also kind of understand that as well. You could be very good being your Buster or Arts damage dealer. Just has a very good strong skill set. I kind of broke that down in more in that video, but let's talk about some of the other things that are going on. For one, if you start playing JP, yeah, your eyes are not deceiving you. You get, what is this, like 60 Saint Quartz in total? You get 20 from the campaign, 20 from day 4, and 20 on day 7. That is 2 multis, that you're probably not going to spend on, let's not call it a bummy banner, but this bummy banner over here, you could probably just spend that on the Samurai Remnant banner, which is very strong, getting Ushi goes in, who just utterly just dominates Earth Attribute, and especially Earth Attribute Servants. And then you could also get Yui, who is just a very strong support that you could get early game that can kind of just support anybody, right? As she really gives a lot of her strengths on her NP, depending on what card type buffs you have. So you could spend it on that, which, I brought up Yui. You're like, but what if I don't get her? ZTL, you got really shafted going for Yui. Well, look at this. But bam, I know it's not the most insane thing, and doesn't particularly apply to Yui, as Yui is not a split rate up 4-star. She is the only 4-star on rate up, but this will help you moving forward. We already had a slight change to the 4-star rate, I believe, on the New Year's that Rasputin came out. That's when they buffed the 4-star rates. I believe that's when that happened, but now we also have a little bit of a buff for the split rate ups over here. So now you can see that, the rates, if there's only one 4-star on rate up, doesn't really change a whole lot. But when there are 2 or more 4-stars on rate up, we're getting a little bit of a buff to those rates. So it might not help you as of right now, but it might help you moving forward, like going in the future, if we have some summer banner where they want to drop, a 5-star and 2 4-star units, as they have been known to do in the past. Look at pretty much every summer that's not been Summer 7. It's generally, here's the main headlining 5-star, and here's the 2 4-stars that accompany them. It's going to be a little bit easier on JP if they start rolling these out to get some of those 4-star units. And I wouldn't be surprised if going forward, if they start dropping more banners with the split rate up, which is a little bit more annoying because it's still not as good as getting that 2.1% chance, but it's a little bit less of a shaft. Now, it's not quite as bad. The split rate up doesn't hurt as bad, especially if you happen to want both of the units. Think of, for me personally, was the Summer Okita Altar banner, where I really did want Corday and I wanted Anastasia. And so, having a better chance at both of them, technically, I suppose, is rather nice. Now, aside from that, not a whole lot of other craziness that's going to be going on with, the Stay Night campaign, but, what more do you want? They're giving you a free servant, probably a free 5-star, and they're giving us a nice update to the 4-star pool, or not, I guess the 4-star pool, but the 4-star rates, and then you're getting a very banger login bonus and a retweet campaign that we're getting 20 Saint Quartz from. But on top of that, the Evocation Festival came back around, and I think I will just throw up the game because I don't think it's on the wiki as of right now, but your boy is always on the ball. Your boy is always waking up at 5 in the morning to make sure I know what's going on FGO. And as you can see, they're bringing out the Christmas guys, which a little late. It's February. It's not quite the holidays anymore, but better late than never, right? being able to get Santa Altera, who was in the Rare Prism shop, this is huge because we're also still waiting for BB to be brought out of the Rare Prism shop and start to get our coins and everything. So Santa Altera does tell us that we will be getting BB in one of these evocations soon enough, so you don't have to spend your Rare Prisms and everything. That's already very, very good. Santa Karna is a very just solid, general, good, free-to-play unit. Like, there are no real complaints here. Nothing super special, but he is really solid. But then these two, not the best. You could probably also say the same thing about Santa Altera, but these two definitely need some help, and they gave them some help. So we're actually going to transition back over here because I have translations for both of their skills on what they actually got buffed. For Salter, it is her skill 2, and for Jalter over here, sorry, I was getting my Salter Jalters mixed up. It is her NP. Now, the NP buff that she got is exactly what I was wanting. I was talking about this, I think, a little bit ago on stream, like a week or two ago. Someone was asking me, well, what would you do to help them out for evocation? And one of the strengths that I think she has is if you maybe just increased the attack buff that she has on her NP. I was also talking about this, I believe, on the Lancer tier list as well, where she could probably be a bit higher if she actually really kind of could start leaning into a niche, because she can do some decent damage. She has a 55% Buster Mana Burst, albeit for one turn, but a 20% battery as well. There might be some semblance of a usable unit in there somewhere. It's definitely salvageable, and this is a strong step in the right direction. Being able to give, with the debuff resistance and the healing is kind of nice, but being able to be, say, the slot 1 NP that you put in front of your other NPs to not only overcharge everybody that's coming after her, but also give them that attack buff is kind of nice. And she's not insane. It's not like she's crazy or anything, but I love when they do this for the Evocation Festival, because not only does it make the Servant a little bit better, and we're slowly starting to get improvements for them, but it's also more Saint Quartz, right? Think about it, you're a free-to-play player, you go and you get your Santa Jalter, now you also get an additional 2 Saint Quartz. Maybe that's the last, rank up that you need. It's going to kick you up on that next mission, get you that extra 10 Saint Quartz from the rank up in interlude missions. It's always very nice. Now, Salter is also kind of interesting, because they gave her a lot more. Well, technically, I guess you could say that Santa Jalter also got a lot, because she's getting even more damage, because you do get this increased damage scaling whenever they buff an NP. But look at this. She's now giving the entire party 10% NP gauge, which is interesting. She's giving everybody that 100% overcharge level, which is very nice. Then she's giving everybody 20% crit damage for 3 turns and is bombing 30 stars. She's kind of becoming an interesting pseudo support DPS if this is the direction they're going to take them, which most of the Santa servants do generally have some type of support for the party, because, go figure, it's like Santa giving gifts out to people, right? So they usually donate a lot of buffs. They're not generally like solo DPSs or anything, right? I think someone like Nightingale or the Altera are very good examples of this, as they have a lot of very beneficial buffs for the party. Even like Santa Martha, I think, is the apex of this idea of these Santas being like these really good support type units. And so I think it's kind of interesting, because one, we just got the normal Salter buff, where she's pretty much trying to take normal Artoria's job as being like the de facto big, just damage dealing saber farming unit, right? Or if you just need somebody to cleave just hordes of enemies, right? She's going to be very, very strong for that, right? That she's kind of going for that. But Santa Salter over here is really solid in the way that she's going for more of a pseudo support, and these are not bad effects. Remember that she is a buster unit, and giving NP to either Koyanskaya or Merlin is very, very strong. Merlin being able to get to his NP a lot faster. I mean, as I've been showcasing in more and more gameplay videos as of late, the Merlin Castoria combo is really, really crazy, because Merlin gives you all that sustain. So not only being able to help out your supports, I really like, but also giving them overcharge applies to so many different supports. If you want to bring the aforementioned Castoria, that's an extra hit of solemn defense if you need a more tanky strategy to get through a stage. For Merlin, it's more stars. I mean, for Koyanskaya, it's more NP refund on her overcharge for the entire party. It's just a very, very strong wombo combo of skills that she has that plays very nicely with the supports that she's going to be used with. Now, I'm not saying she's super insane. She probably still needs to get those other 2 skills buffed, but it's a very strong step in the right direction if Lysengal just will not forget about her, right? Because this is the problem, and I'm kind of getting tired of going through this song and dance with Lysengal, where they give somebody this really, really nice buff, and it's a strong step in the right direction. Doesn't quite make them good, but it is very good in the future, right? It could be super instrumental in them being a solid servant, but then they just never seem to revisit them again. So sometimes I can see him like a little bit of a Debbie Downer, because I want to have a lot of faith that, especially for Santa Salter, that, you know, give it maybe 6 months, or maybe by the latest the end of the year, they do like a batch of Christmas buffs. Maybe she really could start developing into this strong pseudo DPS, pseudo support unit. But that means they still have to follow through on this buff. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still have to come back and give her more. But I like what I'm seeing. You know, playing JP right now is definitely pretty fun. You know, the Samurai Remnant event has just been very, I don't know what it is. You're just kind of normally farming the event, but I guess it's just the surrealness of playing Samurai Remnant in FGO is just very fun, so I'm enjoying farming the event. But now we're also getting 2 absolute banger campaigns back to back. And then we also have, say, the 30 million download campaign coming up, what they said they wanted that to be really crazy. So who knows, we might get another 5-star ticket from that. Maybe they sprinkle in a couple of limited units in there. That could be crazy. But then we also have this very nice Evocation Festival. They're bringing out 4 of these free-to-plays, one of them being a rare Prism unit, you know, was in the shop. So it gives a lot of hope for people like BB as well to become like more accessible to more players. And then you could also get your coins for that if you want to grail your BB, like, you know, I would like to, or I would also even just like to get her extra attack thing done, get her mono-loading done for the append skills. So, I don't know, it's a very fun time to be playing JP. It looks like we might not really struggle with the kind of dead period that last year had, where there's really a whole lot, like, there's not really anything going on, but we'll have to see, because will they release Ordeal Call next month, or I guess technically this month, you know, to kind of follow after Valentine's, or really keep up this momentum? We'll see, because last year Lost Belt 7 started really good momentum, and then they did Joanna, and nobody really cared about that. So we'll see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.